Okay, imagine this. It's Tuesday morning.
Right.
You're at your desk. Coffee's maybe gone a bit cold. Your eyes are on the screen, but your mind. It's like 3 meetings ahead already. Or maybe you're just counting down 27 more work days till vacation. Sound familiar?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling of being suspended, you're kind of waiting, just enduring things, surviving.
Yeah.
But you're not really here.
Exactly. And that's the paradox, isn't it? We have all this amazing convenience, speed,
Yeah.
everything's faster,
Yeah, unprecedented.
but we feel more fragmented, more exhausted, somehow disconnected from it all. We keep chasing the next thing, the promotion, the launch, that fellow account, thinking that'll be the thing that makes us feel whole. But it keeps moving further away like a mirage.
It is a mirage, and it recedes because, well, we're chasing the wrong variable entirely. The problem isn't really how much we do, is how little we are. You know, how little presence we bring while we're doing all that stuff.
Okay.
And this isn't new. There's this deep ancient wisdom that tells us mindfulness isn't about escaping life at all. It's actually the return to it, the radical return.
A return, not running away.
Yeah.
So the invitation here, especially for us in this super hyper-productive age, it's that you don't actually need to wait for that big 2-week vacation to reclaim your life.
No, you don't need to wait at all. You can reclaim it right now. And that's our mission for this deep dive today, to show you how you can use the incredible power of the micropause, that tiny little sliver of space, maybe just a breath. That's the key. It's the tool for finding meaningful success without losing yourself.
Okay, let's really unpack this, because my mind, and I bet yours listening too, immediately goes, hang on, pause. I don't have time to pause. That sounds, well, unproductive.
Yeah.
You're saying this wisdom is just hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
But how does that work with like crazy 90-hour work weeks?
That's a really fair challenge. It sounds counterintuitive, but think about the wise figures from history. The Buddha, for instance, he wasn't teaching some kind of retreat into isolation. Not at all. He taught full engagement, you know, walking down dusty roads, really washing his bowl after eating, truly listening to people. His own enlightenment, it ripened right there in the middle of ordinary, sometimes messy life.
That sounds lovely, I guess. But for someone stuck in, say, back-to-back Zoom calls all day, isn't trying to be fully present with every little thing just another task, another mental burden?
It feels like it might be, but it's actually the opposite. Distraction, that's the real mental load. And modern science, psychology, neuroscience, they actually confirm this ancient idea. Attention really is the gateway to, well, to your actual experience of life. When we're scattered, life feels like a stressful blur, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But when you anchor your awareness, even just briefly, something shifts biologically. There's a measurable reset.
Okay, biologically, what's actually happening in the body?
We're literally changing the stress markers. Research shows that just anchoring your awareness, maybe with just 3 focused breaths, it can start to stabilize your heart rate. It can begin lowering cortisol, you know, the main stress hormone. And importantly, it brings your prefrontal cortex. That's the sort of command center for clear thinking and good choices. It brings it back online.
Wow. So a micropause isn't just some nice-to-have soft skill. It's a biological necessity, a reset button.
Exactly. It shifts us out of that constant fight-or-flight reaction mode.
Okay.
And yet, we treat presence like it's this luxury item, something we'll get to eventually when things calm down, you know?
Yeah.
When the inbox is finally empty or the world stops spinning so fast.
Which is never.
Everything is never done, the inbox refills. And if we keep postponing presence until some perfect future moment, well, we risk dying waiting, as some wisdom traditions put it.
Dying waiting. But it connects right into this whole idea of success, doesn't it? We think mastery comes from just grinding harder, moving faster.
Yeah.
But when you look at the leaders or creators you really admire, their edge isn't usually just raw intelligence or drive. It's often presence.
That's the invisible edge.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's that ability to pause just long enough maybe to really listen in a tough negotiation, or to notice the subtle energy in a team meeting, or just to take that beat before reacting emotionally when things go sideways. That kind of trained attention is a form of mastery.
You mentioned there's an ancient term for this kind of discipline?
Yeah.
Heedfulness, you called it?
Yes, appamāda. It translates roughly as heedfulness, or maybe non-negligence. It's the quality of never taking the present moment for granted, just not being careless with it. In some texts, it's even described as the path to immortality. Not literal immortality, of course, but living so fully, so presently, that each moment feels timeless, deeply lived.
That's a very different definition of success than just hitting targets, and you can see how this applied even to like ancient business leaders.
Totally. Take Anathapindika. He was a major follower of the Buddha, but also a very wealthy merchant, like a CEO of his time, really successful in business. And he was praised not for becoming a monk, but for practicing mindfulness in motion, right in the thick of it. He signed deals, managed people, handled high-stakes stuff, but he did it without, let's say, losing his soul, because he used these micro pauses. He'd take a breath before reacting in anger. He'd pause before making a big commitment. That's embodied success.
Okay, so we don't need the week-long silent retreat, maybe just 10 seconds. Right here, right now. Let's make this super practical. Give me some 10-second things people can actually do mid-chaos.
All right. Start simple with the senses. While your kettle boils or the coffee machine is dripping, instead of grabbing your phone, just feel the handle. Or notice the warmth of the mug. Hear that rising hum.
Okay, feel the handle, hear the hum. Simple enough? Though I tried something like that this morning, I admit I still ended up glancing at a headline while waiting. The pull is strong.
It is strong. That's the practice right there, just noticing the pull and choosing even just sometimes to stay with the sensation instead. Another one, before you hit send on an email, especially a tricky one, just plant your feet flat on the floor. Take one full breath in and out. Maybe even let your shoulders physically drop. Feel the difference.
Right. Or maybe after a really draining virtual meeting, instead of rushing straight into the next thing, just pause the doorway for a second. Let the residue of that meeting go.
Exactly like that. See, these aren't interruptions to your work. They are the actual fabric of doing sustainable, meaningful work. Sustainable success.
Okay, let's dig into the how a bit more. You said 3 conscious breaths can change things.
Yeah.
How does such a short pause actually counter that chronic stress loop?
It actively triggers what neuroscientists sometimes call the pause and plan response. It's the biological counterprogram to our default fight or flight reaction, which tends to dominate when we're stressed. By deliberately gathering your attention, even for just a moment, you shift how resources are allocated in your brain. You move away from the default mode network, the DMN, which is often busy ruminating or worrying about the future.
The mind-wandering network.
Right, and you shift towards the central executive network, the CEN.
Which is where intentional focus and like complex problem solving happen.
Precisely. So that tiny pause isn't just calming, it literally shifts you from being reactive and sort of on autopilot to being responsive and having actual agency over your next move.
That sounds very much like what some ancient traditions call unifying the mind, right? Is there a specific term for that kind of mental gathering?
Yes, the term is samadhi. It's often misunderstood. People think it means emptying the mind or zoning out. But it's really about gathering your scattered attention, concentrating it. In today's world full of distractions, samadhi is basically the superpower of deliberately placing your attention where you want it to be, where it matters most, like on deep work, instead of letting every notification pull you away.
And we can practice that gathering, that samadhi, with tiny actions. Like,
Yeah.
okay, when my laptop's booting up,
Yeah.
instead of instantly grabbing my phone,
Yeah.
maybe just feel my back against the chair.
Yeah.
That's like a microdose of samadhi.
Exactly. Or you get a stressful text message, the urge is to fire back instantly, right?
Oh, yeah.
Instead, maybe just place a hand on your chest or your stomach. Take one breath before you even start typing. Or, on your commute, notice 3 specific sounds around you. Don't judge them, just notice. These little acts, they literally start to rewire your nervous system, moving it from being frayed and reactive towards being more steady and resilient.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Because you said these pauses aren't just for managing stress. They actually reveal truth.
That's the deeper potential, yes. Moving beyond just samadhi, the focused attention, into vipassana, which means direct seeing or insight. When you pause long enough to actually hear the quiet beneath all the mental noise, you finally start to hear what you might have been unconsciously ignoring.
Like what kinds of things? Exhaustion. Or maybe intuition telling you something.
Both. Or perhaps it's a subtle feeling that the goal you're chasing so hard, it's actually not aligned with what you really value. Or, yeah, maybe just profound exhaustion whispering you need rest. That insight, that vipassana, it often arises in the stillness. And it can reveal whether the goals you're pouring your life into are truly worth achieving for you.
Wow, so the pause becomes a gateway to integrity.
Yeah.
Because without stopping to check in, we could just keep barreling towards a version of success that feels, well, empty or just plain wrong when we get there.
And that brings us right back to the I don't have time excuse, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The deeper truth is maybe you don't have time not to pause. Because every unexamined reaction, every time you push past your limits without awareness, it accumulates like debt. You could wake up one day, successful by everyone else's standards, but feel completely hollow inside. By your own standards.
Okay, so we need a new model, a different way to think about it. What's the new equation for success that actually feels meaningful?
I think the equation looks something like this. Presence multiplied by intention equals meaningful success. Presence times intention. And a key part of getting there is ditching the old idea of balance.
Ditching balance. Why is balance the wrong idea? We hear about work-life balance all the time.
Because balance suggests this constantly precarious tipping scale, right? 50% work, 50% life, and you're always stressed trying to keep it perfectly even. It's exhausting just thinking about it.
Yeah, it feels like a constant struggle.
We need to aim for harmony instead.
Harmony. Okay, how's it different?
Harmony is about integration. Think of music. A pause isn't an interruption to the music, it's part of the music. It gives it rhythm, meaning. In life, the pause isn't stopping your progress. It's where the progress actually gains its meaning. Think of the classic lotus flower analogy.
Growing out of the mud.
Exactly. It grows unstained, beautiful, right out of the mud. The mud is our busy, messy, modern life. The deadlines, the bills, the ambitions, all of it. The bloom, the flower, is the clarity, the resilience, the peace you can access right here, right in the midst of the mud. You don't need to reject the mud to find the bloom. The alchemy of the micropause is that moment of realizing, okay, I'm not drowning in all this complexity, I'm actually growing through it.
That reframes everything, and it really drives home that warning. You just can't outperform your inner state in the long run. You can hustle your way to outer success, sure, but if your nervous system is shot, that success will feel shaky, restless, or your relationships might crumble. Wholeness needs both outer achievement rooted in inner alignment.
And achieving that alignment requires these small, gentle, almost compassionate interruptions of our own forward momentum, like when your child asks you a question. Actually put the phone down, look them in the eye. Really listen for that moment.
Or, before you check your bank balance online or your social media likes, take just one breath. And maybe ask yourself, what am I really looking for here? Information? Or am I seeking reassurance?
Yes. Or at the very end of the workday, instead of just collapsing onto the couch and grabbing the remote immediately, maybe just sit quietly for 60 seconds first. Let the energy of the day actually settle in your body before you try to numb it or escape it. These small pauses, they're like little homecomings to yourself throughout the day.
So following this thread, maybe the ultimate point of pursuing success isn't just getting what you want externally. Maybe it's about becoming who you truly are. Ambition then isn't the enemy. It's more like a mirror, inviting you to really see your values, your limits, your resilience.
I believe so. Ambition can be a powerful teacher if we let it. So the call is really to stop chasing that impossible, stressful balance, start creating harmony instead. And understand that choosing to pause, even for a second, isn't weakness. It's actually an act of courage. A quiet rebellion against that relentless pressure for more, faster, now.
Okay, so here's the challenge for you listening, the deep dive challenge for today. Don't ask yourself, how can I possibly find more time in my day to be mindful? That just adds pressure. Instead, ask, where is life already offering me a doorway? Where is that tiny 2-second gap in the chaos? And am I willing to just step through it, even for one single breath?
Because the peace you think you're waiting for, the calm you hope to find on that vacation, it isn't actually waiting for you somewhere else, sometime later. It's right here, in this next inhale, and the one after that. You were never really away from it. You were just perhaps too busy rushing to notice you'd already arrived.
Yeah.
True success, the kind that resonates deeply, that's something you embody. And embodiment only ever happens in presence, right here, right now.